What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Manar back at again with another video. If you guys are new to this channel, please subscribe, like, and turn your notification bell on so you're going to be notified whenever I post what I have for you guys today. Another video, and another fucking video. Today we're going to be reacting to the most, what's it called? I think the most powerful gangsters ever. Gang. So we're going to be reacting to that. Let's enjoy ourselves. As usual, if you guys want to watch the original video without me reacting to it, you guys can go ahead, link in the description. You guys can go watch it. The original video is always going to be in the description. That's it. Without further ado, let's not talk. Let's watch this shit. Let's get it.
They were the ultimate villains. They lived life king-size and ruled kingdoms with iron-fisted methods. They made more money than is imaginable and spent it on decadent luxuries and glittering parties. Their cruelty is legendary. Everyone, from judges, policemen, to senators and presidents, were in their pockets. They knew that real power...
Imagine if you can just fucking pay a president. God! Just imagine just having that much money, like that much control. Sheesh!
Lay with them, and were not afraid to use it. Their lives are the stuff movies are made of. In this video, we've listed 10 of the most powerful gangsters of all time. Here we go.
Let's see, number 10, who's it?
Number 10, Frank Lucas.
Frank Lucas?
Frank Lucas capitalized off the heroin trade in the 1960s and 1970s by using an East Asian connection during the Vietnam War, cutting off the Italian mafia who controlled the trade in his Harlem at the time. Lucas, originally from North Carolina, employed members of his family to take over the heroin trade in New York and New Jersey. Lucas would claim to have sold $1 million worth of heroin a day in his prime, and claimed to have a net worth of over $52 million on top of a large supply of liquid assets, namely heroin. Number 9.
That nigga be selling heroin? English, please.
Griselda Blanco. Griselda Blanco, also known as the Black Widow or the cocaine.
Oh yeah, I heard that. I heard the fucking the cocaine Miami. Ooh.
Queen of Miami was a drug lord for the Colombian Medellin cartel. She controlled the cocaine trade through violence and intimidation, making $80 million a month during the 1970s and 80s. Reports claim that,
bro, just give me half of that money. I'm set for life.
At her peak, Griselda Blanco had more than $500 million. After serving 10 years in jail on drug charges, Blanco would return to her native Colombia. Number 8, Anthony Salerno. Italian mobster Fat Tony Salerno made his millions running the numbers and drugs racket in East Harlem after most other Italian mobsters left the area, as it became more black and Latino in the 1960s, making tens of millions of dollars. As the frontman for the Genovese crime family, Salerno was named the America's top gangster by Fortune magazine in 1986, due to his wealth of more than $1 billion and influence. In 1988, Salerno was convicted of racketeering charges and was sentenced to 70 years in prison.
7 years? When this nigga, they sentenced him to fucking 70 years and he's that old. Like, what the fuck? You know that you're not coming out. You're not coming out of the system, my nigga. Goodbye. You and your money, goodbye.
Carlos Lader. Lader was one of the founders of the Colombian Medellin cartel. While in prison, Lader met Boston-born drug trafficker George Jung, who helped him import and distribute cocaine from his native Colombia into the United States, accumulating $2.7 billion. Cocaine made Lader so rich that he owned his own island.
Like, just, oh my God, it's not even a million. Billions. What the fuck?
The Bahamas, and offered to pay off Colombia's debt. Later would eventually be extradited to the United States and sentenced to life in prison, which was reduced after he agreed to testify against former Panamanian President Manuel Noriega in 1992.
Oh, that nigga rat then. What the fuck, nigga? Oh, nigga, you got all of that money and you're ratting? What the fuck is wrong with this nigga? I ain't gonna lie. If I would have got that kind of sentence, you best believe I'm fucking ratting too, but yo. But fuck. Fuck, I just said it. Fuck it. I will rat it too. Fuck out of here. What? The fucking 7 years? How much is it? How many years?
Cocaine from his native Colombia into the United States, accumulating $2.7 billion. Cocaine made Lader so rich that he owned his own island in the Bahamas and offered to pay off Colombia's debt. later would eventually be extradited to the United States and sentenced to life in prison.
Whoa, never mind. It's not even 7 life in prison? Nigga, I'm ratting. What the fuck? There's nothing for me to lose.
Which was reduced after he agreed to testify against former Panamanian President Manuel Noriega in 1992. Number 6, Meyer Lansky. Lansky was a Jewish immigrant from Poland who would make a fortune of gambling, both legal and illegal. Lansky would join notorious gangsters Charles Lucky Luciano and Ben Bugsy Siegel to run a gang that would be known as Murder Inc. Lansky would later turn to focus on gambling, setting up operations in Florida, Las Vegas, and Cuba before the Cuban Revolution. In 1982, Forbes would name him as one of the 400 richest people in America. Lansky would be indicted for tax evasion and fled to Israel. He would later return to the U.S. to face charges and was acquitted in 1974. Lansky would die a free man in Miami at age 83.
Okay, as long you die freely, that's good. Fucking nigga, you're not locked up. You made all that money, you kill all that people. Yeah, at least you're a free man. When you die, if you're a free man, that's solid.
Number 5, Joseph Kennedy. Joseph Kennedy is the patriarch of one of America's most powerful and prestigious families. One of his sons became president, another district attorney, and presidential candidate.
Didn't this nigga, didn't they kill the fucking Kennedy guy, the president guy? I'm not American. I'm just saying whatever I heard from the news. I feel like they killed that nigga.
Another a senator. At his peak, Kennedy was one of the richest men in America. But as the saying goes, behind every great fortune, there is a great crime. Kennedy was already in the liquor business before Prohibition, but according to several books and Gangsters, became a bootlegger with ties to the New York and Chicago underworlds after liquor was made illegal. After Prohibition ended, Kennedy made a fortune off selling legitimate liquor as well as through Hollywood and the stock market. Kennedy was named one of the 20 richest people in America in 1954 by Fortune magazine and had a net worth of more than $300 million, which would be in the high billions today. It has been reported that Kennedy contacted
like back in the days, like the money back in the days, like a lot, like this day and age.
Mobster Frank Costello, who was known to brag that he was a bootlegger with Kennedy to use another mobster, Chicago's Sam Giancana, to help his son John get elected through his ties to Chicago and the unions. Number 4, Amado Carrillo Fuentes. Amado Carrillo Fuentes was the head of the Mexican Juarez cartel. He was known as Lord of the Skies due to his private fleet of planes, including 22 private 727 jet airliners, which were used to import cocaine from Colombia to Mexico, where it was later smuggled into the United States. Fuentes had an estimated net value of $25 billion, almost twice as much as Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg, and the DEA called him the most powerful drug trafficker of his era. He would die while undergoing plastic surgery to alter his appearance in 1997. Number 3, Joaquin Guzman Loera.
Let's go. The game.
El Chapo is one of Mexico's most powerful drug lords. He is the head of the Sinaloa cartel, which smuggles in billions of dollars from Colombia through Mexico and into the United States. Guzman became rich enough to make Forbes' list of 1,000 wealthiest people in the world, as well as their top 60 most powerful people in the world, with a net worth of over $5 billion. Guzman was jailed in 1993, but escaped from prison in 2001, and is currently number 1 on the FBI's most wanted list, with a $5 million reward for his capture. Number 2, Al Capone. Al Capone is perhaps the most powerful gangster of all time, and also one of the richest. During Prohibition, Capone controlled the illegal alcohol, prostitution, and gambling rackets in Chicago, which brought in $100 million a year at its prime. Capone's money allowed him to bribe police officials, judges, and even the mayor of Chicago. Unfortunately, he could not bribe the IRS, who convicted him of tax evasion in 1932 and sentenced him to 11 years in prison. Number 1, Pablo Escobar. Escobar is perhaps the most...
How could you talk about gangsters without El Chapo? I mean, what the fuck? What am I talking about El Chapo? I'm talking about fucking Pablo Escobar. Without this nigga, talk about gangsters. This nigga number 1, always.
Powerful drug lord of the modern era. He ran the Medellin cartel, which imported billions of dollars of cocaine into the United States. Pablo's money brought him great power, as he was able to bribe officials or have them killed if they wouldn't take his bribes. Forbes magazine named Escobar the seventh richest man in the
power?
world.
If they don't take your bribe, like, they kill them.
With a net worth of $25 billion. In 1993, Escobar was killed by Colombian forces with U.S. assistance after he escaped from a Colombian prison. That concludes our video of the 10 most powerful gangsters of...
Half of them I don't even know. I ain't gonna lie. Like the only two, El Chapo and fucking Pablo Escobar. And I think the second guy I think is a fucking Scarface. I think I know him for like a Scarface or something. That's the only three that I know. The rest of them, I don't know them fucking shit. I ain't gonna lie. But if they were in front of me, I'll be shitting bricks.